This video, I want to discuss the graphics creation and analysis assignment with you. So in front of me is the assignment prompt. And let's begin with the topic for this assignment. So the topic for this assignment is going to be the exact same one that you're going to write your quantitative analysis essay on. The QA essay assignment has been scaffolded into smaller assignments, and this assignment, the graphics creation and analysis assignment, is one of those shorter assignments. So be picky when choosing a topic because this topic will be used for multiple of the assignments that all tie into the final product of the quantitative analysis essay. Okay. So now that we know our topic, let's go to what exactly do we need to do for this assignment. So the task for this assignment is that you have to, once you've picked your topic, you will have to create survey questions, 5 or 6 of them. And those survey questions you will use to survey at least about 40 to 50 different people. And we need to do those many people so that we can collect enough data. Okay. I will share an example with you later, either in this video or in a separate video. But so you will be conducting a survey to gather raw data for this assignment. And after you have created your survey questions and you've conducted the survey, you will next use that data to convert it into a table format, and then that table format will be later converted into a graph. And then you will use those numeric values to draw conclusions and analyze the data. When analyzing the data, you are required to use at least 2 of the 6 numeric terms we discussed in our lecture titled Quantitative Literacy. That lecture included maximum and minimum, range, mode, median, mean, and frequency. So you're required to use at least 2 of these terms in your analysis paragraph. And once you have analyzed the data, you will then draw conclusions. What can be concluded from the data that you have gathered? And that will conclude your assignment. Since we are not using any outside sources in this assignment, you don't have to worry about citing or adding a reference list. Okay, so we have discussed the assignment prompt briefly. Now let me quickly show you the sample assignment. So this here is the sample of the graphics creation and analysis assignment. This will be formatted in APA style, where you will have the page number up here. And remember, there's no title or name that goes along with the page number. The 7th edition of APA requires you to only provide the number, and that's what you will do. Next, you will add in the middle of the page, you will add the title of your assignment, and that title will be boldface. You will leave a few empty spaces to where the whole title block kind of centers in the page of your title page. In this title block, you will provide your first and last name. Then you will provide the program and university name. Then you will provide your course number and section. Make sure you add your section here. Then your professor's name, and then the date in APA format. Okay, let's scroll down. So you see how the title block is in the middle of the title page. Next page, since you added a header, the number will automatically appear on the second page. Notice that the title has been added again, just the title, no other information that you put in the first page will be repeated here, but you will provide the title again, and the title will be boldface. Next, we have the table that was put together after data was collected. So for this table, I actually created survey questions and surveyed 50 people, 50 students, and got the results. So for example, I asked people if they were knowledgeable about climate change and its global impact. Almost everyone knew about it. So there was zero number of people who said, I've never heard about it. And then there was zero number of people who said, I've heard about this, but I cannot explain it or truly talk about it. 46% of the people said that they were familiar about it and could easily talk about the topic. Similarly, I had, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 questions that were asked to 50 students. And that's how this data was gathered. And how to create a table in Word and how to create a graph in Excel, I'll do a separate video on that. But this one is just to show what the assignment is going to look at the end once you complete the work. So add a title to the table itself. So table 1 and then the title, then you have your table, and then a few little statements about what are you doing or what you did. In this case, I said the data shared in table 1 was collected by surveying 50 randomly selected students at UTSA. Their purpose of this data was to gather information on how informed people are about global issues surrounding our world today. The collected data was then converted into a graph using an Excel spreadsheet. So this statement, you have to add it right after the table, but this is not a part of the 150 to 250 word requirement for the analysis paragraph. That is separate, which will come after we have our graph. And here it is. Okay. So next, I've scrolled down to page 3. And here we have the graph that's been created using an Excel sheet from the data we gathered here. Now, I had to have all this empty space because this graph would not fit into this small space. Try to make sure your table and graph is not larger than half a page. Okay. So here's the graph, the visual we created using the numeric findings from that table. And then we took that. I will discuss this, how to create the graph in another video. So we took that and then we did our analysis, right? So it says, as shown in figure 1, it can be noted that most students at UTSA are somewhat familiar with widely known global issues. However, when it comes to more specific issues that are not part of everyday discussion, our populace is less informed. And then I'm asking you to use any 2 of the 6 terms we discussed in the quantitative literacy lecture. So here I have used maximum and minimum, and also actually I have used percent, but percent was really not part of those 6 terms. We do have percent change. If you calculate percent change, you can add that here. So here it says a maximum number of students, 46 out of 50, were familiar with climate change and its global impact, and a minimum number of 0 out of 50 students had never heard about climate change. On the flip side, again, I'm going to talk about maximum and minimum, but here I didn't repeat the term. On the flip side, 36 out of 50 students had never heard about genocide still being a reality in the 20th century, while only 3 out of 50 students documented that they were familiar with the issue and would be able to explain it well. Additionally, 26 students out of 50 had never heard about the growing shortage of sand worldwide. And then here's our concluding here. This analysis here is using numbers or numeric terms to analyze the numbers, the data we have collected. Next, we have a statement that concludes what we draw from these numbers. So based on this data, it can be concluded that while 92% of students are familiar with common global issues, 72% of students are unaware of the complicated challenges the global population faces. And that concludes our assignment. So it's an easy assignment. You have to give it some time to conduct the survey. The survey does not have to be conducted face-to-face. You can email your survey out to a number of students, or you can actually go out in the field and hand out the survey. It's up to you. So you're going to end up with 50 to 60 responses, and you're going to gather the responses and convert them into this table first. And we will discuss that in our next slide or next video. But also notice, since we're not required to use sources, we are gathering this data firsthand. This is information we have gathered. We don't have to cite anyone. There are no in-text citations, and there is no reference list at the end. This is because this assignment is not required to use sources.